So the tribe I chose to do my culture paper on is the Zulu tribe. This tribe originated in South Africa in the 1700s. This tribe is and has been a very misunderstood tribe from very many cultures. They have been viewed as savage and barbaric and scary because they're such a powerful, unique tribe. Their dances come across as kind of scary, but through the years and the time, the Westerners have learned to love and understand this culture and its uniqueness. So during a battle called Luana, which is kind of a weird name, the Westerners got to see the Zulu tribe perform one of their dances, which is called the pre-war dance. This dance is performed by men and women, and it's a dance that helps bring the culture safety and security and luck and power when they're in war. This dance is done to very powerful sounding drums. They do it in a wall-like stance, and there's a lot of marching and kicking of legs and flailing of arms and sharp, harsh movements that come across as powerful and kind of scary. So, I understand why the Westerners viewed them this way. The Zulu tribe ended up winning this battle, which was very good for them, but it brought even more fear from the Westerners. Another one of the Zulu tribe's dances that brought a lot of fear from the Westerners is their hunting dance. This dance is pretty similar to their war dance. It's done in a group of people, and it's to help them survive. This tribe has to hunt for everything they eat, and they have to get their plants and all their nutrition just from stuff they find, and so they do this dance to prepare themselves and to give them good luck. So the Westerners became very frightened from this tribe because of the uniqueness of these dances. But what the Westerners never got to see is they never got to see some of their spiritual dances. There are numerous dances that the Zulu tribe did that didn't come across as scary. One of their dances was the snake dance, which I think is a super cool dance. It's done kind of by the doctor, and it involves the large snakes, and it's supposed to bring health and safety to the tribe. Another dance that I'm going to go into a little more detail about is called the reed dance. This dance was performed by younger girls to show their virginity and their purity and their virtue. Back then, losing your virginity, you ended up not getting married because all the men wanted someone that was pure. And so this dance was kind of a way to present themselves to these men as virgins. It is a very graceful dance. It's very soft and sweet. It's done to softer music and is done by these girls that are just trying to show themselves off. One thing that's really cool about this dance is it's actually a dance that's still performed today to protect girls about HIV, to protect girls from HIV and AIDS, since that's such a common thing in that area of the world. So the Zulu tribe, throughout the years, has had to kind of change around the way they do things because they are such a small culture in the entire world. There's America and China and Europe, and they're just such powerful, well-known cultures that bring in a lot of tourism. And so in order for this small part of South Africa to get tourists, they have kind of had to evolve their dances so that they're more not scary. So there's something that people want to watch and something they're going to tell you their friends about so their friends can travel and see them. I love this tribe. When I first started writing my paper on them, I was kind of nervous because I'd never heard of them before and I didn't know if I was going to be able to find anything. But as I started researching, I found so many amazing stories and videos about this tribe. They really are such an amazing tribe that I really enjoyed getting to learn more about. So for my close movement analysis, I had to pick one of their many, many dances. And the dance I ended up picking was their hunting dance because I thought it would be fun and it was kind of on the more unique side to what I'm used to seeing. And so interesting watching it over and over and over and the different things I picked up and saw each time. So my first impressions of this dance was it was men and women and they were dressed the same. There was very, very powerful movements they were using, very sharp movements, and there was a lot of stomping and jumping and kicking of their legs, but it was done in unity with each other. They were all together in a group. These dancers were showing power and control so that they could eat, so that they could stay safe. So like I said, the actions were marching and kicking, they were stomping, there would be times they would sink, but they would rise back up, which I believe is a symbolism of sometimes they don't have successful hunts, but they know that they can come back and do better after that. They use their entire bodies during this dance. I mean, there was an elbow here and a head throw there, and they would use their toes and their fingers, and just the dance as a whole is just so amazing. The body part phrasing that I chose for this dance was simultaneous, just because I feel like nothing was really unique. I mean, nothing like flowed together, but there was always something after another, but you kind of didn't know what was coming next. The energy qualities used in this dance was there's a lot of power and strength and confidence in this dance. The shapes used, well, like the shape qualities used, is there was a lot of advancing and rising, and every once in a while they were sinking, but like I said, they always came back up. This dance was done to fast tempo drums that were very strong and powerful. And they didn't stand in space. They were always in like a group, but they would march around and they would stay together, which I feel like is a sign of showing unity in their culture and how they do everything together. This is my A phrase. This is my D phrase. Powerful. Marching. Repetitive. Okay, so the final part of the presentation is the different questions that we could have chose from, and I chose question 1 and question 3. So question 1 was about how we've learned about a bunch of different dance forms throughout this semester, and then we needed to put our culture into one of them. And this was really hard because my culture's dances are all so different, and I feel like they could have gone under a bunch of the different categories because they had functions of each kind of dance. But the category I ended up choosing was the spiritual dance form. And the reason I chose this is I feel like it had the most functions under like the criteria, I guess. So first things first, like you saw in my phase D video, is there was repetitive movement, which is common in spiritual dances and common in this kind of dance. Because the dances aren't supposed to be hard. They're supposed to bring the community luck and safety and help them connect to outside forces so that they can succeed. Another thing that is similar to the spiritual dance forms is community involvement. Everyone is there. It's a group together, whether it's one person performing the dance or the entire community performing the dance. So those are kind of the two closest things I found. I couldn't really find anything else that was close to their kind of dance forms. One thing that doesn't really relate to spiritual is they don't really go into a trance for it, but I feel like all the other criteria match it so well that that's the one I decided to go under. So the other question, question 3, was about dance in our culture today and how it's different from the culture I chose. So I feel like dance today, and a lot of the dances I've seen, they're more so for entertainment. I don't know of any dances that are done in the community or by the culture that are spiritual. I don't think any of them go into a trance. I mean, there's repetitive movement in some of them, and there's community involvement in some of them, but they're not trying to connect to an outside force to bring them luck and safety. They're not trying to connect to their gods or a higher power. Like my culture group, because my culture group is very involved with the outside powers of nature and gods and earth and animals. And so I think those are the biggest differences.